Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Vedanta Karwal. Our lead story, well, Vladimir Putin's rare apology over the Kazakhstan plane crash that killed as many as 38 people out of the 70 people, nearly 70 people who were on board. Now, Kremlin has said that, well, Russia was firing at Ukraine during the time of the crash, stopping short of saying that it was perhaps a Russian weapon that struck that airplane, that Azerbaijani airplane. Remember, Russia's silence raised various concerns and questions, but Putin finally breaking his silence. Earlier, I spoke to our special guest. In fact, I spoke to Anastasia Volodina, and she has some perspective to give. Take a look. How do you look at what the Kremlin says? Because it's certainly a rare apology. Putin saying that it was a tragic incident, and Kremlin confirming that it was indeed striking at Ukraine at the time of the crash, but of course stopping short of saying that it was indeed a Russian weapon that may have struck the Azerbaijani airplane. So it's important here because earlier as well there were all these reports that indicated that there was external interference that led to the plane crash, and now of course Putin breaking his silence.
Well, what I'm going to be talking here about is the actual phone conversation that was held between the leaders of the two states. Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone conversation with its Azerbaijani counterpart, Ilham Aliyev. The sides discussed in detail the issues related to the plane crash that was traveling from Azerbaijan's capital, Baku, to the Russian city of Grozny. It was carrying 67 people on board, and unfortunately 38 of them have died. And as the plane crashed in Kazakhstan's city of Aktau, Vladimir Putin apologized for the fact that the tragic incident occurred in the Russian airspace. He also expressed condolences to the families of the victims, as well as wishing a quick recovery to those who have been injured. It was noted that the conversation that the Azerbaijani plane tried to land at the airport in Grozny twice, but at the same time, in Grozny, Mozdok, and Vladikavkaz, these three cities were attacked by Ukrainian drones, and the Russian air defenses repelled the attacks. What we know also is that the Russian Investigative Committee has opened a criminal case, and the investigation is currently underway. And currently, two employees of the General Prosecutor's Office of Azerbaijan are in Grozny, closely working with their Russian counterparts. And the specialized services of Russia, Azerbaijan, and Kazakhstan are also closely cooperating on the matter of the plane crash. This is all I'm going to say at the moment.
And moving now to the other big headline, well, India bid farewell to one of its finest reformers, its liberalizer, two-time Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. It was a farewell, a cremation with full state honours. The President, the Prime Minister, all union ministers were present. But as Manmohan Singh, the great consensus builder, brought the government and the opposition together, with both mourning the loss of the great Prime Minister, there was some politics on the side as well. This as a Congress party hit out the BJP government over not only the memorial site but also the funeral site. Rahul Gandhi says that it was an insult to the former Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, the funeral site. So, of course, the BJP has hit back, saying the Congress must stop playing dirty politics over the former Prime Minister's death. Here's the report.
Dr. Manmohan Singh was laid to death at Nigam Bodh Ghat. Tributes were paid to the great economist and liberalizer. But Congress was unhappy with Manmohan Singh's funeral venue and demanded that Dr. Singh's memorial should be constructed at Rajghat. However, Centre has assured that a space for the memorial would be allocated.
देखिए हम सब जानते हैं कि हमारे शहर में हमारी राजधानी में काफ़ी मेमोरियल्स है तो इसलिए एक और करने में ज़्यादा दिक्कत नहीं होनी चाहिए मेरे ख्याल में सरकार तो ऐसे कुछ तय करना चाहिए जल्दी कि मनमोहन सिंह जी की याद रखने के लिए कुछ अच्छा एक अच्छी समाधि बना.
The way world leaders are remembering him from UK, from the US, he was a true global statesman And I think today the world has lost a tremendous leader. Of course, it's a tremendous loss for India and a loss for the Congress party.
Congress leader and LOP Rahul Gandhi slammed the BJP over memorial venue. But BJP hit out at Congress and urged them not to do petty politics. BJP leader and grandson of former Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao also hit out at Congress and claimed that Congress ill-treated their own leaders.
During the death of Narasimha Rao, the Congress party doesn't want his mortal remains to be at Delhi. They have persuaded us, the family members, to shift to Hyderabad. And the then Prime Minister and his cabinet colleagues and the Congress party leaders have assured us that a memorial site will be built in Hyderabad, though we were not really interested because Narasimha Rao has spent all his life in Delhi.
कांग्रेस जिसने डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह को जीते जी कभी भी वास्तविक सम्मान नहीं दिया, अब उनके सम्मान के नाम पर राजनीति कर रहे हैं। गांधी परिवार ने अपने परिवार को छोड़कर देश के किस नेता, बड़े नेता को सम्मान दिया है और न ही उनके साथ न्याय किया है, चाहे वह कांग्रेस पार्टी से हो या विपक्ष से हो।
संस्कार हो गया, उसको ट्रस्ट बनेगी, ट्रस्ट के नाते से जो उपयुक्त स्थानों को उपयुक्त स्थान सरकार देने को तैयार है, परंतु इसमें राजनीति कर रहे हैं, ये ठीक नहीं है। अफसोस है कि इसको जानकर सिख वर्सेस अदर्स पार्टीज का विषय बना रहे हैं, ये ठीक नहीं है।
The Congress at the very outside demanded that the cremation of Dr. Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister of India, should take place at the same spot where his memorial could be built. But this tradition itself was rejected by the UPA government back in 2013 under the leadership of Dr. Manmohan Singh himself. Back then the UPA cabinet decided that there shouldn't be any individual memorial grounds, rather there should be a common memorial ground where all the leaders and future prime ministers' memorial can be set up, which is essentially at the Rajghat.
The final rites concluded with full state honors as leaders from across the political spectrum demanded that Dr. Singh's legacy be honored.
पूरे हिंदुस्तान के लिए और दुनिया भर में डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह को चाहने वाले लोगों के लिए ये बहुत दुखद बात है कि केंद्र सरकार आज राजनीति में इस तरीके से निम्न स्तर पे आ गई है कि एक पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री को 1000 गज जमीन नहीं दे पाई जहां पे उनका दाह संस्कार हो जाए।
Dr. Manmohan Singh's final journey ends, but the legacy of economic reforms and his leadership will be remembered.
Moving now to political news from Delhi. Well, the big welfare showdown. This, as the Lieutenant Governor has now ordered 2 separate investigations into the Aam Aadmi Party's flagship scheme, the Mahila Samman Yojana, which is being pitched as a key political plank by the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, the BJP, of course, has hit out at Arvind Kejriwal multiple times over, saying that how will he fund these welfare schemes. Now, the Lieutenant Governor, remember, ordered a probe, I beg your pardon, based on a complaint by Congress leader Sandeep Dixit, who alleged various discrepancies and irregularities in the scheme. So, of course, the former allies have been at loggerheads, but the BJP also wading into the row, with the Aam Aadmi Party calling the BJP anti-women, but the BJP hitting out at Arvind Kejriwal, saying he is deceiving the people of Delhi.
अब तो बीजेपी की हालत ये हो गई है, ये कांग्रेस के सामने गिड़गिड़ा रहे हैं, हमें बचा लो, हमें बचा लो, हमें बचा लो। बीजेपी की हिम्मत नहीं हुई एलजी को कंप्लेन करने की, संदीप दीक्षित से कंप्लेन कराई है। और बीजेपी और कांग्रेस किस तरह से मिलके आम आदमी पार्टी को और दिल्ली के लोगों को रोक रहे हैं, आप देख रहे हो। ये उसको क्यों नहीं रोक रहे जो पैसे बांट के और वो खरीद रहा है, वोट खरीद रहा है, खुलेआम वोट खरीद रहा है, सारे चैनलों पे आप सब लोगों ने दिखाया कि वोट खरीद रहा है, उसको क्यों नहीं रोक रहे? वो तो पैसे बांट रहा है, कह रहा है बदले में वोट दो, उसको क्यों नहीं रोक रहे ये लोग?
मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल तुम्हें चुनौती देता हूं, सिर्फ एक सवाल का जवाब दे दो। मुख्यमंत्री महिला सम्मान योजना में 2100 रुपए देने का कोई कैबिनेट प्रस्ताव पास हुआ है कि नहीं? पंजाब में सरकार बनाने से पहले महिलाओं के सम्मान के लिए 1000 रुपए की राशि जो देने की घोषणा की थी, वो दी है कि नहीं? ये झूठ की, ये मक्कारी की हांडी बार बार नहीं छटती अरविंद केजरीवाल। पंजाब की लाखों बहनों को तुमने धोखा दिया है, सिर्फ वोट पाने के लिए, अपनी सरकार बनाने के लिए। और वही तुम दिल्ली में करना चाहते हो, मुख्यमंत्री के नाम पर महिला सम्मान योजना। मुख्यमंत्री को भी नहीं पता कि कैबिनेट नोट आया कि नहीं आया।
Moving now to news from Mumbai. Well, after a 9-hour delay, Indigo flyers were finally given an alternate flight. That's what the airlines has said. Remember, it was a Mumbai-Istanbul flight that was cancelled after a 9-hour delay. The passengers were made to board, then they were made to deboard, only to know that the flight has been cancelled. What the airlines has essentially said that it was because of a technical snag, a technical glitch, that the flight had to be cancelled. But what an ordeal for over 100 passengers who were stranded for over 9 hours at the Mumbai airport there with no communication whatsoever. And a standard response from the airlines, they of course said that alternate arrangements have now finally been made. In other news now, the National Commission for Women has now taken cognizance of the Anna University sexual assault case. In fact, the NCW has now formed a fact-finding committee as well, and that panel will be investigating the case. Remember, there's been a lot of outrage over this absolutely horrific case. Remember, the accused was arrested, but the fact-finding team will be visiting the university on December the 30th as well. Listen in to what DMK MP Kani Mori had to say.
முதலமைச்சர் அவர்கள் எந்த பாரபட்சமும் இல்லாமல் குற்றவாளி மீது நடவடிக்கை எடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று சொல்லியிருக்கிறார்கள். அதன்படி குற்றவாளி கைது செய்யப்பட்டு நடவடிக்கை எடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. அதனால எந்த நடவடிக்கையும் எடுக்காமல் இல்லை. முதலமைச்சரும் திராவிட முன்னேற்றக் கழகமும் தொடர்ந்து எப்பொழுதுமே பெண்களுடைய உரிமைகளுக்காக, பெண்களுடைய கல்விக்காக, பெண்கள் இன்னும் அதிக அளவிலே பொது தளங்களிலே பணிகளிலே பங்காற்ற வேண்டும், அவங்களுடைய உரிமைகள் இன்னும் அதிகமாக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக தொடர்ந்து பணிகளை செய்து கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய, பயணித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய திராவிட இயக்கம்.
News now from Madhya Pradesh. Well, in the investigation into a police constable in Madhya Pradesh, now several irregularities have come to light in the probe being carried out by the corruption watchdog or the anti-corruption body, the Lokayukta. The initial figures were different from the latest figures released by the Lokayukta as far as the cash that was siphoned off is concerned by this particular police constable, raising questions about the neutrality and fairness of the investigation to this very important case. Take a look at this report.
These bundles of cash are worth just 28 lakhs. These gold bricks and silver items just 27 lakhs. We are not saying this. This is what the Lokayukt itself submitted during Sorab Sharma's anticipatory bail hearing in court. Interestingly, the initial seizure was described as assets worth several crores.
दो ठिकानों पर रेड हुई जिसमें कि लगभग 8 करोड़ का मसरूका जब्त हुआ, जिसमें 2.85 करोड़ कैश था और बाकी सोने चांदी के जेवरात और कॉस्टली घड़ियां वगैरह थी.
But the question remains, was this a mistake, negligence or something else entirely? Why does the Lokayukt's claim of 7.98 crore differ from court documents stating only 55 lakhs? Why were the key locations linked to Sorab Sharma's not raided? Was there negligence in stopping a car carrying 11 crore in cash and 52 kilograms of gold? On December 19th, the Lokayukt police raided Sorab Sharma's house E7/78 and office E7/657, claiming to have seized 7.98 crore in cash, silver jewelry and other valuables. However, another house of Sharma, E7/71, just 100 meters away, saw no action despite locals reporting suspicious activity that day. Similarly, the house of Sharad Jaiswal, E8/99, also accused, was left unsearched. The mystery deepens with a car containing 11 crore in cash and 52 kg of gold seized by the Income Tax Department the same night. Registered in the name of Chetan Singh, the car is believed to have been purchased by Sharma. CCTV footage shows the car passing near Sharma's house in Irira Colony on December 19th during the raid at 2:06 p.m. This car, abandoned in the Mindori jungle, carried the alleged cash and gold but wasn't stopped near the raid location. Was this negligence or something more? Sorab's lawyer has gone so far as to say that the Lokayukt has no authority to file a case against him.
छापा तो गलत ही छापा है जी, छापा ही गलत है। गलत है जो लोक सेवक है ही नहीं, देखिए जो लोक सेवक ही नहीं है, जो लोक सेवक के दायरे में नहीं आता उसके आप छापा नहीं डाल सकते। इसकी FIR ही गलत दर्ज हुई है और छापा भी गलत है।
Another question arises about a vehicle parked outside Sharma's office during the raid. The Lokayuk team reportedly ignored it, but documents found later during the ED's investigation have added new layers to the case. In the past 7 years, Transport Department has seen 3 senior ministers and several senior bureaucrats. During this period, a constable employed on compassionate grounds amassed wealth worth several crores. It's astonishing that nobody raised suspicion, and even now the department itself remains under no scrutiny. In Bhopal with camera person Rizwan Khan and Ajay Sharma, Anurag Bari for NDTV.
News now from Manipur. Well, for a state limping back to normalcy, isolated incidents of violence are still being reported after a period of lull, certainly. In fact, in Imphal East, there was major gunfire that lasted for over 5 days, nearly 5 days, and it's now ended finally. But a journalist and a police officer were injured in this gunfire. Remember, 4 people in all were injured, and finally the gunfighting has ended. Remember, security forces have been on the vigil, and Manipur is largely now returning to normalcy. In other news now, well, the Supreme Court came down heavily on the Punjab government over farmer leader Zaliwal's protest. Remember, he has been on a hunger strike for days on end now, and the Supreme Court is saying that, well, he needs to be shifted to a hospital immediately, and that the Punjab government is not doing enough to, in a sense, extend an olive branch to farmers. Remember, the Punjab government has said that, well, farmers are resisting our consensus-building approach. The farmers say that we are fighting the centre as well, and we are fighting for our rights. And well, in other news, he's just 18, but he's a world champion. He is the world's youngest Grandmaster, Takescognizance, who returned to India with that absolutely incredible achievement, met the Prime Minister as well, with his parents always by his side. He is a true face of humility in his, unassuming avatar as always, met the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said that his confidence is inspiring. And well, Uttar Pradesh and indeed the entire country is gearing up for Kumbh, which is not just India's but the world's largest religious congregation. Remember, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has extended invitations to the top BJP leadership, including, of course, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, also Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Massive preparations are underway for the Kumbh. In fact, it's been declared a separate district as well. Over 43 crore devotees, remember, will take the holy dip in the Maha Festival of Faith. And finally, in Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, snowfall disrupting normal life. In fact, in both Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir, particularly in the upper reaches, key roads, highways, expressways have been blocked. Look at those visuals from Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. Of course, some respite certainly for residents of Jammu and Kashmir after that long wait for snowfall. But early snowfall this year certainly a ramification of climate change. But the administration is monitoring the situation closely, given the fact that there are long queues, traffic jams across the states as well. And in fact, the Met Department has predicted the snowfall will continue for the next couple of days as well. And that's all the time that we have on the show. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.